As members of Congress, we are entrusted with a generational duty, a duty to ensure that we leave our grandchildren with a Constitution as strong or even stronger than our predecessors gave us. I want to tell you about a conversation that took place the week of July 25th, but it's not the one you're thinking of. This was a quiet moment between a leader and me, just a freshman on the floor. I sought out Elijah Cummings and sat down next to him. He looked up into the gallery and he said, "Madeleine, 300 years from now, your ancestors will remember you were here. We are only here a short while. Make sure what you do here matters." As 1 Corinthians tells us, now we see through a glass darkly. Months later, I'm beginning to see face to face what our recently departed Chairman Cummings meant. What we do here today will matter for generations. He saw a broader horizon. Now this immense constitutional responsibility vested in us by our founding fathers requires us to decide whether President Donald J. Trump has purposefully and perilously abused the power entrusted to him by the people. The evidence shows the president's wrongdoings. They are as clear as they are dangerous. He has abused the power of his office as president for personal gain, including his corrupt scheme to win re-election. He has betrayed our nation and his oath by asking foreign governments to interfere with our elections. When he was caught, he obstructed Congress, blocking our constitutional investigation at every turn, telling executive branch agencies and witnesses to defy subpoenas. And even in the midst of this investigation, he called on a third foreign power to interfere in the upcoming election. The president's ongoing pattern of conduct threatens our most precious rights as Americans, the rights to choose our own leaders and hold them accountable. In George Washington's farewell address, he warned against the insidious wiles of foreign influence. The jealousy of a free people ought to be constantly awake, he said, since foreign influence is one of the most baneful foes of Republican government. We cannot allow this president to reach his hands and the hands of foreign leaders into our ballot boxes, because for us to maintain our faith in this country, the democratic process is as important as the result. Some have suggested that our actions, this historic call for impeachment, are based in dislike or even hatred of a single man. They are not. This is not about punishment or hate. It is about love. It is about love of this country. It's about protecting this country and our precious Constitution for all Americans yet to come. No one wishes to be where we are today, but this is where we are called to be. Today is about the congressional oath I swore. We all swore to well and faithfully discharge the duties of our office. My favorite Uncle Walter was a Catholic priest. Years after his death, I swore my oath of office on Walter's Bible. My first grandchild, Aubrey, age 7, held it from below as I placed my hand and bore true faith and allegiance to the Constitution. Walter's daily prayer washed over me. May God grant success to the work of our hands, he would say. I remember the gravity of that moment of accepting the mantle from those who came before us and striving to protect the promise of the Constitution for generations who have yet to inherit it. It is in our hands now. Many people have walked these hallowed halls. Few of us remember their names. Some day, too, we will be gone and forgotten. Yet what we do here will not. It will matter for decades and centuries to come. It will matter to my children and grandchildren and to yours. It will matter to a democracy battle-tested and hard-won, and yet only as strong as those willing to stand up and defend it, to defend the aspirations and the constitutional promise of this country. These are the moments that define us, that determine whether the United States will become less free or more perfect. The grand horizon is in our hands now. May God grant us success. Our forefathers demand it, and our granddaughters deserve it.
Does the gentlelady yield back?
With that, I yield.
Gentlelady.